You're living in a war zone, a battlefield where every second is contested, every thought is hijacked, every moment of potential is hunted by forces that want one thing: your attention, your focus, your mind. And most people, they surrender without even noticing. They hand over their lives, one notification at a time, one pointless argument at a time, one dopamine hit at a time. They become spectators to their own existence, alive, but never truly living, moving, but never advancing, busy, but never building. But you, something in you refuses to die quietly. That's why you're here. That's why these words found you. And that's why you can feel this message sinking deeper than the others. Because it's speaking to the part of you that has been asleep, not dead, waiting for the day you finally wake up and reclaim what is yours. Let's be honest. You know your potential is far greater than the life you're currently living. You know you're capable of more than the scattered, diluted, half-present version of yourself the world has been feeding on. You know that the only thing standing between you and everything you want is focus, real focus, ruthless focus, the kind that slices through noise like steel. But focus doesn't survive in this society. It has to be weaponized. It has to be defended. It has to be chosen deliberately in a world designed to strip it from you. Right now, everything around you is engineered to divide your mind and dilute your will. Your devices scream for you. Your environment steals from you. People, good people, lost people, loud people, pull at you with problems that aren't yours to solve. And every second you give away, you pay with pieces of your future. But here is the truth that most will never accept. Your life is shaped by what you choose to ignore, just as much as what you choose to pursue. Until you learn how to cut away everything that doesn't serve your mission will suffocate under everything you shouldn't have allowed in. Hyperfocus isn't some productivity hack. It's a survival instinct. It's the difference between drifting endlessly and carving a path so sharp it cannot be mistaken for luck. Hyperfocus is what happens when your mind stops negotiating with distraction. When you stop entertaining what drains you. When you stop letting anything outside of your vision dictate your direction. Because there's a clarity inside you. Cold, sharp, unwavering, that thrives when you stop numbing it with noise. There is a truth inside you, uncomfortable, but honest, that speaks when you finally silence the world around you. And there is a warrior inside you, quiet, powerful, patient, that rises when you stop giving your strength to everything that weakens you. The question is not whether you have the potential. You do. The question is whether you have the courage to do what most people never will, to separate what moves you forward from what holds you back. Let that sink in. Every action in your life sits on one of two sides. It either sharpens your blade or dulls it. It either builds your future or buries it. It either serves your goals or steals from them. There is no middle ground, no neutral, no harmless distraction. Everything is working for you or against you. So ask yourself, how much of your life have you handed away to things that never deserved it? How much time? How much energy? How many opportunities slipped through your fingers because your focus was fractured? And more importantly, how much longer will you tolerate it? You were not built to be a slave to noise. You were built to carve through it, to rise above it, to become a force so centered, so disciplined, so mentally sharp that nothing external can pull you off your path. That is your power, your responsibility, your burden to carry, and your gift to unleash. Because once you lock onto your purpose with total clarity, once you decide, truly decide, that your life is worth more than the distractions trying to claim it, something inside you shifts permanently. You stop reacting. You start choosing. You stop chasing everything. You start committing to one thing. You stop apologizing for protecting your focus. You start defending it the way a warrior defends their last breath. And suddenly, everything changes. The noise loses its power. The distractions lose their grip. The people who feed on your attention fade into the background. Because you become something the world cannot manipulate. A mind that sees clearly. A will that refuses to bend. A purpose that won't be interrupted. And from that moment forward, you don't just survive the world's chaos. You rise above it, reshape it, and leave everyone else wondering how you did it. But you'll know the truth. You didn't get stronger by accident. You got stronger because you finally learned to focus your blade. And now, nothing can stop you. Now that the truth has been laid bare, the question becomes simple. What will you do with it? Awareness means nothing without action. Clarity means nothing without discipline. And potential dies the moment it's not backed by structure. If you're done surrendering your mind to the noise around you, if you're ready to reclaim your focus, sharpen your purpose, and build a life that reflects the strength buried inside you, then the path begins with 5 ruthless steps, each designed to cut through distraction, fortify your discipline, and align your life with the mission that calls you. Let's begin. Step 1. Conduct a brutal audit of your life. There is a moment in every person's journey when the truth finally demands to be seen. Not the soft, comforting version of truth we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort, but the raw, unfiltered version that exposes how we've been living and what we've allowed to control us. This step requires you to face that truth without flinching. A brutal audit means stripping your life down to its bones. It means studying your days like a tactician, preparing for war. It means acknowledging, perhaps for the first time, that much of what you suffer from is not misfortune, but misallocation. Look at your life through the cold eyes of someone who wants results, not excuses. Start with your time. Where does it actually go? Not where you wish it goes, not where you tell people it goes, but where it truly disappears. Every hour spent scrolling, indulging weak impulses, reacting to drama, or drifting without direction is a cut to your potential, a slow bleed that most people never stop long enough to notice. Then study your environment. Your surroundings are not neutral. They are either sharpening your mind or eroding it. Does your space support deep focus, or is it cluttered with noise, chaos, tasks you've avoided, and reminders of goals you've abandoned? Cleanliness and clarity are not aesthetic choices. They are psychological weapons. Your environment is a mirror of your discipline, and right now, it may be reflecting a version of you that isn't fit to carry your future. Next, examine your habits. These are the invisible architects of your life. Every habit you repeat writes the blueprint of who you will become. Some habits build you. Exercise, reading, planning, grinding, creating. Others quietly consume you. Mindless entertainment, procrastination disguised as rest, constant stimulation, emotional reactivity, and the toxic loop of starting and abandoning every new idea before it has the chance to grow. Now analyze the people around you, not with emotion, with clarity. Who drains you? Who distracts you? Who keeps you tied to a former version of yourself you're trying to escape? Most people will never admit this truth. Your circle can be the greatest anchor or the greatest catalyst. Many of the people in your life are not malicious. They are simply unfocused, overwhelmed, and lost. But being surrounded by unfocused people turns you unfocused. Energy spreads. Confusion is contagious. And someone else's disorganization can become your downfall if you allow them too much access. Finally, confront your mental patterns. Thoughts that drift, beliefs that limit, fears that silence ambition, stories you tell yourself to justify your own stagnation. Because here's the truth. Your mind has been running on autopilot, shaped by years of distraction and survival mode, not by deliberate intention. You can't build a life of mastery while operating from a mind crafted by convenience and chaos. This audit is how you begin reclaiming control. As you list everything, your habits, your environment, your routines, your influences, you will feel resistance. Good. That means you're uncovering the exact areas where growth has been dying. A brutal audit is not about blame. It's about awareness. You cannot destroy what you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot improve what you pretend isn't broken. You cannot rise while hiding from the structures that keep you grounded in mediocrity. Be ruthless in your assessment. Be surgical in your honesty. Be willing to admit the parts of your life that have been working against you. Because once you expose what's been silently draining your focus, you unlock the power to cut it away. And once you cut it away, you create the room, finally, for discipline, clarity, and purpose to take root. This audit is the foundation. It is the blade that cuts through denial. It is the moment you stop living reactively and start living deliberately. Only after seeing your life with this level of clarity can you step into the next phase, defining the mission that will shape your new identity. Step 2. Define the one mission that actually matters. There comes a point when you must stop scattering your energy like shattered glass and forge it into a single, unbreakable blade. That moment begins here. Because after you've stripped your life down through the brutal audit, you're left with a painful truth. You've been divided, pulled in too many directions, trying to be everything and therefore becoming nothing. Defining your one mission is the antidote to that fragmentation. You cannot rise while chasing 10 goals with half strength. You cannot transform while dividing your attention between every impulse, every idea, every fleeting spark of excitement. When everything matters, nothing matters. This step forces you to make a choice that terrifies most people because it demands commitment, real commitment, the kind that removes escape routes and burns the bridges back to comfort. Look at your life with clarity, sharper than steel. Ask yourself, what is the one objective that, if accomplished, would fundamentally shift who I am and where I'm going? Not what sounds impressive, not what impresses others, not what is convenient or safe, but what calls to you with a weight you cannot ignore. This mission should feel like a haunting. It should echo in your mind during quiet moments. It should intimidate you just enough to expose your excuses, but inspire you enough to challenge your limits. Your mission is not a hobby, not a wish, not a casual desire. It is the central axis around which your future will turn. Maybe it's building a business. Maybe it's transforming your body. Maybe it's mastering a skill that will change the trajectory of your life. Maybe it's finally breaking through the patterns of mediocrity that have held you hostage for years. Whatever it is, it has one defining characteristic. It demands more from you than your current identity is capable of giving. That's the point. A true mission forces evolution. A true mission destroys the version of you that keeps settling. A true mission requires a level of focus and discipline the casual goals could never pull out of you. Once you've identified this mission, you must carve it into your mind with absolute clarity. Write it down, not as a vague poetic statement, but as a measurable, undeniable target. Your mission must be articulated with such precision that there is no room for interpretation, no cracks where doubt can seep in. If someone asked you at any moment, "What are you building?" you should be able to answer instantly, without hesitation, without searching for the right words. Your mission becomes your compass, your filter, your shield, your justification for saying no to everything and everyone that tries to pull you off course. Because once the mission is defined, everything else becomes noise. Every action either serves the mission or betrays it. Every hour either moves you closer or pushes you back into the mud. Every decision becomes binary. Does this align with who I am becoming, or with who I am trying to leave behind? And here's the part most people never understand. Choosing your mission is not restrictive. It is liberating. Before this moment, you lived in a fog of indecision, a fog of vague desires, a fog of half-built plans and abandoned dreams. With no direction, everything felt overwhelming, because nothing had priority. But when you choose one mission, the fog lifts. Suddenly, life simplifies. Not because it gets easier, but because you stop entertaining everything that distracts you. Clarity is the ultimate weapon in a world of noise. When your mission is clear, your energy consolidates, your mind sharpens, your actions gain weight, your presence becomes intentional. You stop drifting and start advancing. People will notice. Some will feel threatened. Some will misunderstand. Some will try to pull you back into the chaos because your focus exposes their lack of it. But none of that matters. Your mission is not for them to understand. It is for you to execute. And understand this: you only get one life, one chance to build something meaningful, one opportunity to follow a purpose that feels carved into your soul. So choose your mission boldly. Choose it with conviction. Choose it with the understanding that once you commit, your old life ends, and a sharper, more disciplined version of you begins. This step is the turning point. The moment you stop being a bystander in your life. The moment you draw a line between who you were and who you will become. Because once the mission is defined, the real work begins, eliminating everything that stands in the way of its completion. Step 3. Eliminate the noise without mercy. Once your mission is defined, the world will not suddenly step aside and let you pursue it. No, the world will fight you for it. Distractions will grow louder. Temptations will multiply. People who never cared about your time before will suddenly need you. Your own mind will try to negotiate with your old patterns because comfort fights to survive. This is where most people collapse. Not because their dream was weak, but because their boundaries were. Eliminating noise isn't a gentle process. It is an execution. A removal of anything that dilutes your focus, fractures your attention, or pulls you away from your mission, even if those things once felt harmless, or familiar, or comforting. To rise, you must be willing to do what the average person refuses to do. Cut without apology. Start with the digital world, the most silent, efficient killer of human potential. Your devices are engineered to keep your mind fragmented, overstimulated, reactive, and unfocused. The apps you open absent-mindedly are not innocent. They are designed to hold you hostage with infinite loops of novelty and manufactured urgency. Turn off notifications. Delete the apps that steal your attention. Create barriers between you and the digital poison that has been training your brain to crave distraction instead of depth. You will feel withdrawal. Good. That means you're breaking free. Next, cleanse your physical environment. The space around you is a reflection of your internal state, and it becomes the cage or the cathedral for your discipline. Clutter's not just a mess. It is a constant whisper of unfinished tasks, a subtle drain on your mental energy, a reminder of the chaos you've tolerated. Clear it. Organize it. Remove anything that does not support your mission. Your space should feel like a command center, not a landfill of neglected impulses. Then comes the hardest purge of all. People. Not everyone around you is toxic, but many are misaligned. And misalignment is just as deadly to your focus as outright negativity. There are people who thrive on distraction, who drown themselves in drama, gossip, chaos, craving your attention to validate their emptiness. There are people who fear your growth, because your evolution exposes their stagnation. There are people who unconsciously sabotage your progress, because they prefer the version of you that stayed predictable, available, and unthreatening. You must identify them without emotion. This is not about cruelty. This is about survival. Distance yourself from the energy leaks. Limit access to your mind and your time. You don't need to announce this. You don't need dramatic exits. Just pull back your availability and watch how quickly the noise attempts to pull you back in. Some will guilt trip you. Some will question you. Some will say you're different. Good. You are. You are no longer living for their comfort. You are living for your mission. And then there is the internal noise, the most dangerous noise of all. Your fears, your doubts, your procrastination loops, your numbing habits, your desire for instant gratification, your craving for mental escape every time the mission feels heavy. Noise doesn't just come from the outside. It comes from within, disguised as reasonable thoughts. I'll start tomorrow. I deserve a break. It's just for a minute. I can multitask. These are lies. Elegant, seductive lies that destroy more potential than failure ever could. To eliminate internal noise, you must challenge each thought with ruthlessness. Ask yourself, does this thought move me closer to who I am becoming, or closer to who I'm trying to leave behind? If the answer is not obvious, the thought is noise. Remove it. Replace it. Refocus instantly. This step is about reclaiming territory. Your mental territory, your emotional territory, your physical territory, your temporal territory. Because distraction is not passive. It is aggressive. A parasite that survives only if you feed it. When you eliminate noise without mercy, something extraordinary happens. Your mind quiets. Your clarity sharpens. Your energy returns. Your presence deepens. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop giving your power away and start consolidating it. The world slows down. Your mission stands out like a beacon. Your path becomes unmistakable. But make no mistake, this step demands sacrifice. You will lose comfort. You will lose escape routes. You will lose the illusion of ease. But in return, you gain power. The power to direct your own mind. The power to protect your time. The power to choose what enters your life and what exits your life. And once you learn to eliminate noise without mercy, you become unstoppable. Because the world has far more distractions than it has warriors disciplined enough to silence them. Now that the noise is gone, or dying, you are finally ready to build the rituals that will forge your mind into a weapon. Step 4. Create daily rituals that force your mind into focus. Once the noise is stripped away, You are left with something most people never experience: raw silence. Silence is not peaceful. Not at first. Silence reveals your weaknesses. Silence exposes your lack of structure. Silence forces you to confront the truth that freedom without discipline becomes chaos. This is why rituals exist, not as routines, not as habits, but as anchors, forging stability where the world tries to pull you into 1,000 directions. Daily rituals are the scaffolding that holds your future in place. Without them, your mission will collapse under inconsistency. With them, you become a force that moves forward, whether you feel like it or not. This step is where you design the architecture of your new identity. Rituals set the tone of your mind. Your day is not shaped by what happens to you. It is shaped by the state you allow yourself to enter. If you wake up scattered, you will think scattered. If you wake up reactive, you will make reactive decisions. If you wake up unfocused, you will hand your time to distractions before the mission ever gets a chance. Rituals solve this. They force your mind into a specific mode, a state designed for clarity, strength, and hyperfocus. Your rituals are not supposed to be comfortable. They are supposed to be transformative. Begin with one unbreakable morning ritual. How you start your day determines how you live your day. You need a ritual that signals to your brain, we are sharpening. We are stepping into purpose. No drifting. No escape. This ritual might include silence or meditation to clear, mental fog, cold exposure to ignite alertness and discipline, journaling to refine your intention for the day, reading something that elevates your mind, training your body to harden your will. Whatever components you choose, the rule is simple. It must be done every day, without negotiation. That unwavering consistency is what separates rituals from hobbies. Your morning ritual is not optional. It is the first battle you win every day. And by winning it, you begin the day with momentum that compounds into mastery. Create a work ritual that locks you into deep focus. Hyperfocus is not accidental. It must be activated. Your environment should shift the moment you enter work mode. Dim the noise, silence the world, eliminate every possible distraction. You need cues, behavioral triggers, that tell your brain, it's time to enter the trench. This might include setting a strict start time, clearing your desk, a specific playlist, a breathing pattern, a countdown before you begin, a timer that forces you into deep work cycles. These cues work because the mind craves structure. When your brain recognizes the environment, it shifts into focus automatically, just as athletes enter game mode or soldiers enter mission mode. The ritual becomes the doorway into the version of you who gets things done. End each day with a ritual of closure. A warrior sharpens their blade before battle, but they also clean it after the fight. Without closure, your mind stays open, chaotic, unfinished. A nighttime ritual is your way of collecting the day, extracting the lessons, and resetting your focus for tomorrow. This might include reflecting on what moved the needle, identifying where you drifted, planning the next day, laying out tools, clothes, or materials, so tomorrow begins clean, reaffirming your mission, in writing or thought. This simple act hardwires discipline into your subconscious. Instead of falling asleep in chaos, you fall asleep in clarity. Rituals harden your identity. Most people crumble because their identity is fragile. They rely on motivation, and when motivation dies, so does their progress. Rituals fix this. Rituals turn consistency into something deeper: identity. When your rituals are strong, you don't try to be focused. You You are focused. You don't hope to be disciplined. You embody discipline. You don't attempt to stay on your mission. You live it. Rituals are the spine of your transformation. They make your mission automatic. They make your discipline predictable. They make your focus unstoppable. You are no longer a prisoner of your emotions. You are no longer a victim of distraction. You are no longer at the mercy of chaos. You become someone the world cannot move. This is how warriors are made. Warriors are not defined by their weapons. They are defined by their rituals, the small, repeated disciplines that forge an iron mind. Your rituals are your training ground. Your rituals build the internal strength required to execute the mission. Your rituals transform you from a drifter into a creator, from a reactor into a commander, from a scattered mind into a laser-focused force of nature. Once your rituals are established, you don't rise because you are motivated. You rise because you are programmed for victory. And with this foundation in place, you are ready for the final step, turning all of this discipline into measurable, needle-moving results. Step 5. Track needle-moving actions and hold yourself accountable. This is the moment where most people fall apart. Not because they lack ambition, not because they lack strength, but because they lack honesty. The kind of honesty that cuts. The kind of honesty that exposes every wasted hour, every abandoned promise, every moment they betrayed their own potential. Tracking your needle-moving actions forces you to confront the truth you can no longer escape. You are either advancing or backsliding. There is no middle ground. You've done the audit. You've defined the mission. You've eliminated the noise. You've built the rituals. Now comes the final test. Will you hold yourself accountable to the life you claim you want? Most people don't track their actions because they don't want to see the truth. They don't want to face the gap between who they say they are and who they actually show up as. They prefer the illusion of progress over the reality of results. But not you. Not anymore. To rise, you must become your own judge, your own strategist, your own disciplinarian. You must evaluate yourself with the same cold precision you would apply to a soldier in training. Because that is exactly what you are becoming. A soldier of your own purpose. Accountability begins with measurement. You cannot improve what you do not measure. You cannot correct what you do not confront. You cannot accomplish what you do not track. Every day, you must ask one ruthless question. What did I do today that actually moved me toward my mission? Not what kept you busy. Not what made you feel productive. Not what filled the hours. What moved the needle. These actions are different for everyone, but they share one trait. They create measurable progress. Not the illusion of it, the reality of it. Identify your needle-moving actions and make them non-negotiable. Write them where you can see them. Review them daily. Protect them like they are sacred, because they are. The daily review. Face the mirror. Each night, you sit alone with yourself. No distractions. No noise. No excuses. You review your day with brutal honesty. Did you honor your mission? Did you drift when you should have advanced? Did your actions reflect your goals or your weaknesses? Did you move with intention or fall into autopilot? Did you become the person your future demands, or the person your past trained you to be? This is where transformation happens. Not in motivation, not in hype, not in grand declarations, but in the quiet reckoning between you and your own reflection. If you failed today, you admit it. No sugarcoating, no justification, no narratives to protect your ego. You acknowledge the failure, then plan tomorrow with double intensity. If you succeeded, you don't celebrate blindly. You analyze why you succeeded, and then repeat it with precision. The daily review turns your growth into a deliberate process instead of accidental progress. Accountability begins with measurement. You cannot improve what you do not measure. You cannot correct what you do not confront. You cannot accomplish what you do not track. Every day you must ask one ruthless question. What did I do today that actually moved me toward my mission? Not what kept you busy. Not what made you feel productive. Not what filled the hours. What moved the needle. These actions are different for everyone, but they share one trait. They create measurable progress. Not the illusion of it, the reality of it. Identify your needle-moving actions and make them non-negotiable. Write them where you can see them. Review them daily. Protect them like they are sacred, because they are. The daily review. Face the mirror. Each night, you sit alone with yourself. No distractions, no noise, no excuses. You review your day with brutal honesty. Did you honor your mission? Did you drift when you should have advanced? Did your actions reflect your goals or your weaknesses? Did you move with intention or fall into autopilot? Did you become the person your future demands or the person your past trained you to be? This is where transformation happens. Not in motivation, not in hype, not in grand declarations, but in the quiet reckoning between you and your own reflection. If you failed today, you admit it. No sugarcoating, no justification, no narratives to protect your ego. You acknowledge the failure, then plan tomorrow with double intensity. If you succeeded, you don't celebrate blindly. You analyze why you succeeded, and then repeat it with precision. The daily review turns your growth into a deliberate process instead of accidental progress. Weekly and monthly calibration. Adjust with precision. Your mission is a living entity. It will evolve as you evolve. Your strategies must sharpen as you sharpen. Your focus must become more refined, your actions more exact. Every week, perform a deeper review. What patterns are emerging? Where did you consistently lose focus? What distractions still slipped through the cracks? Are your rituals strong enough? Are your needle-moving actions clear enough? Where must you become more ruthless? Then, every month, evaluate the bigger picture. Are you closer to your mission or drifting off course? Did you build momentum or sabotage it? What must you sacrifice next to accelerate growth? What new strengths emerged? What weaknesses must be eliminated? These calibrations prevent stagnation and ensure constant evolution. Accountability is not punishment. It is refinement. Become a master of self-correction. Weak people fear correction. Warriors depend on it. When you track your actions and evaluate your performance, you create a loop of constant improvement. You begin to spot your weaknesses before they sabotage you. You correct your behavior before it spirals. You eliminate inefficiencies before they become habits. Self-correction transforms you from someone who reacts to mistakes into someone who prevents them. Most people drift for years because they never stop to examine themselves. You, on the other hand, will evolve every single day because you refuse to hide from the truth. The identity shift. Accountability becomes power. There is a moment in this process when accountability stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like freedom. Because accountability means you control your destiny. You choose your results. You determine your pace. You command your mind. Tracking your actions and holding yourself accountable is the final step in the transformation. It turns discipline into identity, focus into instinct, and effort into results. You stop acting like someone trying to change and start acting like someone who expects excellence from themselves. That is when the mission becomes inevitable. Not because it is easy, but because you have become the person who completes it. This is the moment where everything accelerates, where momentum becomes exponential, where results compound, where your old self dies and your new self becomes undeniable. Because now you are no longer drifting. You are directing, commanding, creating. You are living in alignment with your mission instead of fantasizing about it. And that is how destiny is forged. You've walked through the fire, audited your life, chosen your mission, silenced the noise, forged your rituals, and learned to hold yourself accountable with ruthless precision. Most people will never reach this point. Not because they can't, but because they refuse to look at themselves honestly. They refuse to sacrifice comfort. They refuse to focus long enough to change. But you've crossed the threshold. You now see the truth most are too distracted to notice. Your life bends to the sharpness of your focus. Not luck, not chance, not circumstance. Focus. You finally understand that everything around you is either sharpening you or dulling you, building you or breaking you, elevating you or erasing you. There is no neutral. There never was. And now that you see this, you can't return to who you were before. That version of you has been exposed, unfocused, scattered, diluted, reactive. That version of you cannot complete the mission ahead. But the version you are becoming, the one forged through clarity, discipline, and deliberate action, that version is dangerous. That version is rare. That version cannot be manipulated, distracted, or broken. From this point forward, your life will reflect your choices with unforgiving accuracy. Your mission will grow only if you grow. Your focus will deepen only if you protect it. Your future will materialize only if you move toward it with unwavering intention. No more drifting, no more excuses, no more betrayal of your own potential. You know what needs to be done. You know who you must become. You know the cost of staying the same, and the cost is too high. So walk forward with clarity sharper than steel. Honor your mission with every action. Guard your mind like a fortress. Move with the cold confidence of someone who cannot be pulled off their path. Because you are no longer a product of distraction. You are a weapon of focus. And the world will not know how to stop you now. Your life begins the moment you decide to take it back. This is that moment. Now go, execute, and don't look back.